WXII 12 News at 6 starts right now.
A 12 Investigates follow-up on several photography studios closing their doors. What former customers can do to get their precious pictures back.
A driver rams a deputy as that deputy returns fire. I'm Steve King, live in Thomasville with the new details we're learning about the deputy-involved shooting in Davidson County.
Plus, the latest on an overturned tractor trailer at a Winston-Salem intersection. First at 6, a follow-up on our 12 Investigates piece to a sudden closing of multiple photography studios that are stationed around the Triad.
Yeah, a lot of customers paid up front for their pictures at Portrait Innovations. WXII 12 News' Leanne Denyer has been reaching out to some frustrated former customers and consumer experts about what everyone should do next.
We've had numerous Portrait Innovations customers reach out to us since our story aired last week. They're wondering what to do now, if they'll ever see their photos again or a refund. But for one mom who we caught up with, she says it's not about the money. She says it's about a memory she doesn't think she'll ever get back.
Parents know this is limited. Kids grow up fast.
Up here is my son, Cody, in his white rocking chair, about 8 months old, and of course adorable. And then here is my second daughter, Ava, in the same white wicker chair that I had Mary's pictures done in.
Mary is the baby.
This is the dress that she was wearing in her pictures.
She had her first photo shoot last month at the Portrait Innovation Studio in Winston-Salem. Mary's portrait was supposed to hang alongside her siblings.
And then I seen online where people were starting to say Portrait Innovations closed down and such, and I was like, no, this can't be.
Portrait Innovations abruptly shut down, leaving customers like Ashley Henrik scrambling to track down pictures. Henrik had no luck. She says even a link to a lower quality digital album stopped working.
I sent a letter to the Attorney General. I've not received a response about that.
We reached out to the North Carolina Attorney General's office on her behalf. A spokesperson found the complaint and says it's now being reviewed. Attorney General Josh Stein saying in part, when people don't get what they pay for, it's a problem. Still, Henrik worries this can't be resolved.
She's probably my last one, and, you know, it was very important to have that picture of her.
But she's doing everything she can to try and find those portraits.
I'm very thankful that I have these. I'm very thankful that they turned out as good as they did, and just so upset that I don't have Mary's.
The Attorney General's office recommended anybody in this kind of situation file a complaint with them. We have a phone number you can call, as well as a link to the digital portal on our website right now. Reporting in Winston-Salem, Leanne Denyer, WXII 12 News.
Leanne, thank you. There's an investigation underway tonight in Alamance County after an inmate was found dead in his cell. Deputies said they found 29-year-old William Cowan unresponsive Sunday morning. They say jail staff immediately started CPR, but the patient could not be revived. Right now, they do not suspect foul play. The SBI is assisting in this case. Happening now, 2 people, including a deputy, are hospitalized after a call over a woman being attacked led to gunfire.
Steve King is in Thomasville right now, live where the chaotic scene unfolded. Steve.
Well, right now it's unclear exactly how the deputy is doing. This after investigators say a vehicle rammed through a garage door and hit that deputy. 2 other people were involved in this incident. Their conditions are unknown at this time. Now take a look at this. WXII has footage of a man being detained and escorted out of the 4X Fabrication Repair and Detail Shop on Conoy Road near Old Greensboro Road, where this all happened around 7:30 this morning. Now investigators say this all started when deputies responded to a call of a woman being attacked, and as they responded, an SUV busted through the garage door, ramming a deputy. Deputies opened fire, and now the driver is in the hospital. Now, a person inside the business was charged, but it's unclear if the person who was detained, that we saw being detained, is the person who was charged. Meanwhile, neighbors say they're in shock that this happened so close to where they live.
can't believe this is happening. This has always been a calm area. Nothing going on around here. You could task the sheriff. It's always been a calm area around here. Nothing going on, but it is now.
Now, as far as the 4X fabrication shop behind me, court documents do show that a man was arrested inside of this business in June for intending to sell methamphetamine. Now, just to wrap up the conditions of everyone involved, we are working to find out the conditions of the driver of the woman who was attacked to start off this entire incident. And we do know that the deputy is in stable condition, but we do not have any more information about how that deputy is doing. Reporting live in Thomasville, Steve King, WXII 12 News.
A suspect shot by a Wilkes County deputy has died. The sheriff's office confirms that 52-year-old Lee Kilby died last night at Wake Forest Baptist Medical Center. Kilby was shot Friday at a home located on Highway 18 in the Mulberry community. Investigators say he pointed a gun at an officer who was trying to carry out a search warrant in a drug investigation. Deputies seized meth and drug paraphernalia at that home. The deputy involved is now on administrative leave as state investigators look into the shooting.
New tonight at 6, a man is facing a number of charges after a Randolph County deputy found him sleeping in a vehicle. That deputy says they found Justin Grant Saturday. Turned out he was sleeping in a stolen vehicle from High Point. Authorities then said they found 15 counterfeit $100 bills inside. Grant was arrested and charged with a number of felonies. The sheriff's office also served him with several outstanding warrants. Grant was supposed to appear in court yesterday. It is unclear how he pleaded.
The city of Greensboro names its next police chief, and he's a native to the Gate City. Current Deputy Chief Brian James will take over the position on February 1st when current Chief Wayne Scott retires. James has been with the department for 24 years. He says his top priority is to reduce overall violent crime in the city. This comes after a spike in the number of homicides in Greensboro last year. James says that he plans to examine the allocation of resources currently used for community outreach programs and see if there's an opportunity for new programs or efforts.
We're here to serve you. We're here to find out what your needs are. We're here to provide great service. When it's all said and done, we want you to feel that you have the best police department anywhere in this country. And we just want to be responsive to your needs and make sure that we're doing the right things the right way.
He says he also plans to hold community meetings where people can share their comments and concerns.
Scary moments in Winston-Salem after a tractor trailer flips over on Barnes Road. This happened right at South Main Street, just off Highway 52 in Winston-Salem a couple of hours ago. Still no immediate word if anyone was injured in this crash. The impact on traffic, as you might imagine, was quite great. We'll continue to update this story on television and online at WXII12.com. Next, let's talk about the weather. Once again, it started out wet. We've got a break for now. We hope it lasts.
Certainly do. Meteorologist Carly Cassidy is here to let you know when we could potentially see more rain.
Right. The rain chance, a little bit of a kind of lull in the activity for right now, but that is going to come back as we go into tomorrow. And not too much out there. It's mainly just the cloudy skies and the thick clouds for a good portion. So you can find some mist, some drizzle, a few little sprinkles. You see a little bit of blue way out towards the west, but really not much out there. So if you are head out for any evening plans, not really going to need the rain gear for tonight, but again, may just find some very light activity. And temperature-wise, really haven't moved much. We got to the upper 60s for a good portion and 64 still in Burlington. 61 Winston-Salem, Mount Airy, 57 in Galax, and 59 North Wilkesboro. We are still definitely very unseasonably warm. It is muggy. You can feel all of that moisture out there. That continues even overnight as temperatures only getting back down towards the mid-50s. So we still have that stationary front. Keeps things just about the same as well. The thick clouds, that's staying in place. That rain chance, that does stay light. Only about 20% as we go overnight, then into tomorrow. Now, a better rain chance does come as we get going throughout the day, so not completely done with it just yet, but we'll take a look at your Wednesday and the sunshine that does return on Thursday coming up in a few minutes.
We'll take a look at this new drone video out of Sampson County. It shows a school heavily damaged by storms yesterday. The weather caused the gym at Union Intermediate School to collapse. Well, at least 3 of the 25 children who were inside were rushed to the hospital. We're told that their injuries were minor. The National Weather Service says that a microburst from the storm is the culprit of this damage.
Happening now, Davidson County could soon vote to become a Second Amendment protected county. There's a resolution on the agenda at tonight's Board of Commissioners meeting in Lexington. That meeting just got underway a few minutes ago. The largely symbolic measure urges state and national lawmakers to do what they can to protect gun rights. Similar resolutions have been approved by local governments in Stokes, Surry, and Wilkes counties over the last couple of weeks.
The House of Representatives is scheduled to vote tomorrow on sending 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi met privately with House Democrats about next steps today, almost a month after they voted to impeach President Trump on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Once the articles are transferred, the Senate will then begin the impeachment trial.
Commitment 2020 now. The presidential debate among Democratic candidates is about to get underway. 6 of them taking part in what will be the 7th Democratic get-together. It's happening at Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa, and is the last debate before the Iowa caucuses on February 3rd. The debate is scheduled to run for 2 hours. It begins at 9 o'clock tonight. We'll have a recap tonight at 10 on the Triad CW and 11 right here on WXII. 12 Investigates now just 3 weeks away from the first votes in the 2020 presidential campaign cycle, and we have a new warning tonight from a top federal intelligence leader. Earlier today, folks from all over the country held a national election summit in our nation's capital. The point person for the intelligence agencies on securing the elections told the crowd about a growing threat from overseas.
This is not a Russia-only problem. Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, non-state hacktivists all have opportunity, means, and potentially motive to come after the United States in the 2020 election.
Also today, the chair of the U.S. Election Assistance Commission credited our national investigative unit's continuing coverage of election security for helping top election leaders now get permanent security clearance. Before the midterm elections, our unit broke the story that a number of key leaders still didn't have clearances they needed to see the threats against the vote, and some still didn't as of last year. States are also getting another $425 million within the next few weeks in hopes of securing the 2020 ballot box.